tutorial while we wait. Well, it's now
Is
6
Andre
minutes.
here?
Andre's here.
Oh,
Janine's
yes.
here.
Hey, Meneer, how's it?
The team, this is important to us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I can
I'm
see.
muted because I'm just the AV guy at the moment.
Well, I must
Yeah.
say, I'm enjoying the clean, crisp pictures. It's nice to see photography at its finest. But all right, we are now 7 minutes past 6. We pride ourselves on being timeous and punctual. The way we operate the Techie Team Talks is how we deal with our most important client, namely Supersonic. Everybody, tonight it's with the greatest pleasure that I introduce you to Nkateko, Desmond, Ngobeni, who is our point of contact, our guru, our mentor at Supersonic. You know, for the last 18 months to 22 months, we have been talking almost every other week to you about the opportunities with the installation of air fiber. We explained to you that we had signed a reseller agreement with Supersonic, and MyTechie was now an official agent to sell all of the products that Supersonic offers. Now, we know that we've been encouraging you to become sales agents, that although air fiber doesn't have commission, you get the installation. We've now got the full basket of goodies that Nkateko is going to talk us through that are commission based. Now, before you start asking what are the commissions, when Nkateko has finished the presentation, Andre and myself and Janine are going to explain that the commission structure will be tiered. At the moment, the techies simply pass the lead on to Janine, and Janine then does all the hard work of getting all the documentation from the client, uploading their documents, we now have access to the Supersonic portal, uploading them, and submitting all the details and following through. And of course, that is hugely time consuming. Janine can literally spend several days with one client assisting them. So the commission structure, although not finalized, will be probably broken up into phases. If you do all the work and upload the client yourself, you will get X percentage of the commission. If you simply pass on the qualified lead and would require one of us to upload it, you would get Y part of the commission. But it's not the basis of discussion today. It's broken up into two parts. One, to introduce you to Nkateko, and for Nkateko to tell us how exciting it is for us to be entering into the fiber realm. It's something we've never discussed. It's something we've never gone into detail, but it's very exciting. Andre is also going to show you on a map, as Nkateko has finished his presentation, where the opportunities lie. And as a team, we have to devise, after this meeting, an activation plan to present to Nkateko and the Supersonic management on Thursday next week, saying what areas are we going to target, who's going to target them, and how many sales are we projecting. We can no longer go through this ad hoc basis, but we are going to be very targeted. It might be Woodbank this week, it might be Ladysmith or Newcastle the following week. But as a team, we're going to decide which areas are we targeting, which areas are we hitting hard, and we're going to stick to a plan that we are going. Literally, the plan will be 6 months that we will review monthly. But Nkateko, thank you so much for joining us. It's over to you. It's a very casual discussion. We encourage the techies to interact, to ask questions, to feel comfortable and confident. So a very warm welcome to you this evening.
Wow, thank you so much, Ron. Thank you so much for the lovely welcome, and kudos to your team, the people that I'm always in talks with. The number one lady in the house, Janine, and also the big boss, Andre. And I don't know if Clement is here, and yeah, the rest of the team. And
He is on.
yeah. Thank you so much for affording me this opportunity. It's very, very, very an honor for me to like literally speak in such a big stage. And like you said, Sharon, for me, it's important for us to keep it very casual, because you cannot sell outside of happiness, and casualty normally brings joy and faces to people. So if we were to be serious, it's gonna be boring. So let me just give you a brief background of me. I'm from the Smart Village era. I was the first sales consultant of Supersonic. I'm in Smart Village back in the days. I started off with Smart Village in 2013. I grew within the ranks, and at that time we were still with MultiChoice, and then MTN brought us over. Then started the customer experience team. I was the customer experience manager then, and I was like, the call center is not really for me. And then I moved back to sales, and this is where I found myself again as an account manager for Supersonic. My main aim within the business now is to like literally look after the estates. I've got more than 14 estates under me in Gauteng, so all the M10 estates in Gauteng they're under me. And also one of the ventures of which I've just went into now is your dealer channel management. So that's why your account is literally under me, and I'm very happy to be part of such a big team. I mean, um, your management did a good presentation to us, showing us as to what is it that is doing to you as young people. For me, my passion literally lies with young people. Whenever I engage with young people, I want to know as to what is it that they're busy with, so that we can be a better people for our country and also for our families. So, thank you so much. I think that's the introduction. Any questions so far or comments?
No, we appear to be good.
Just
We're ready for you to impart. We're very excited.
wow, great. Just to ask, is your team always this quiet or it's just me?
No, the
Just
team is always quiet, and I think by the time they've unmuted, we move on. But no, the team are a little shy and they
okay.
are a little quiet, and that's why we're going to need you to also explain that when they do the sales pitch, how important confidence is and how important just chatting and communication will be in the pitch side of it. So the team, once they get chatting, they're very chatty, but in the beginning, a little shy.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, no problem. I fully understand. So can I just share my screen for a moment? Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Cool. Thank you. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Okay, cool. So these four elements are the elements of which I've always used when selling. And it's very important for you to find your tune whenever you ought to sell. And I understand that we're not all born as salesmen. Like, for an example, I'm from an IT background. I did IT with TUT in communication networks. So selling was not really something of which I was like really fond of. But because I love people and I love talking to people, so I think that's where I found the passion of selling. The more you engage with people, I've realized that you need to touch him before you can touch his pockets. You like literally have to find ways as to how do you relate with him before you can relate with his pockets. And the utmost important thing that you need to know is that you've got time. Time is of the essence when you are to sell. We back in the days we used to tell this to the call center that you've got the maximum of 2 minutes to close a sale when you speak to your customer. So how you like literally speak to the customer will then determine if you are gonna get the sale or not. Now, if you can check here, I've written four most important principles that I've always used. And I've heard Sharon like quoting, she was like, when, where, why, so many people don't really understand. These are prospects or a very important lessons that you always need to go with when you are selling. So I didn't purpose just to put them here so that you can then I will then break them down for you, and you will see that all these four elements they fall under the sales environment. But before that, there's what we call a project management cycle, right? The project management cycle, for those who did project management at school, they would know that it has a starting phase. In your cases, the person that will literally be busy with, or who's busy with such a cycle, it's Janine, because she's the one who like literally looks after the customer. So the starting phase, planning, execute, and then then you close. So the reason why I put this, I want you to see as to how do you then start the sale. How do you approach a customer when you go to him and you want to sell him a product? So obviously you need to have a cycle. That's why we call this a project management cycle. You need to have things that you use as your status when you go to customers. So you need to, for an example, you now have started your cycle. Why? Because you are salespeople, even though you're technicians, right? And then where are we now currently? We're in the planning. And planning will then determine how you're going to execute. Because the biggest change about many people is that they don't really have the time for planning. But I'm very happy to be part of such a team whereby you guys are sitting down, coming up with strategies as to which areas are going to target, why you want to target such areas, when are you going to target, and whom are you going to target. You see, I'm bringing forth those 4 elements on this project management cycle because they're very important. And then you close the sale. So this is how you always do your projects. You start it, plan it, execute, and then close. You always have to use this project management cycle everywhere you go, because if you're unable to use these 4 phases, then it's going to be impossible for you to then sell to a customer. Then let's go back to these 4 elements. When it's very important to know as to when are you going to sell a product to a customer. Right, when the time is very important, the timing, because when we also determine as to in what mood is that customer in. Because at times we just go to any customer, hi miss, how are you? And you can see that this customer is frowning, it doesn't want to talk. So that you need to always learn people's gestures as to, does this person really want to talk to me or doesn't want to talk to me. At times you need to learn on how to let go of a sale. But this all comes with experience. The more you sell to different people with different attitudes, you then get to understand that, okay, this is how I have to target a person with such an attitude, or with such a kind of an facial expression. So when really determines, when we talk about the time, obviously, is it going to be in the morning? Is it going to be in the afternoon? Is it going to be in the evening? All these 3 phases, they've got different styles of selling. So you need to know as to, in the morning, how do I speak to a customer? In the afternoon, how do I speak to a customer? In the evening, how do I approach a customer? So you need to have all these skills trained in you, and no one can teach you as to how do you sell in the morning, how do you sell in the afternoon, and how do you sell in the evening. You need to find that out on your own, because you have it in you, how to speak to a customer at any given time in a day. Okay, number 2, are you okay so far with the when?
Yes, very much so. I'm guessing Puzo Thursday afternoon is not a great time.
What an example. What an example.
We do have a techie that's really good at selling, and he's done most of our air fiber sales.
Yeah.
Or probably about 80% of them, and that's Chucky. But I don't know if he's on this call. I think that they've got load shedding issues like everybody else. So
Yeah.
he's really got a fine art of selling.
Yeah, we need more of the likes of Chucky. But to be honest with you, I don't know if I did mention this. I'm very happy about your numbers when coming to air fiber. Your team has been doing a brilliant job. So the reason, one of the reasons why, as to why am I here, is because we would like to literally put a catalyst of some sort, and for you as a team, not to only look at a fiber, but to also look at fiber. Because fiber, for me, it plays a very important, like I said earlier when I did my introduction, I look after estates, and all those estates are literally fiber. So for me, fiber is literally a drive in South Africa. It's really a drive of which each and every house needs to be connected in, if not air fiber, because there are certain areas of which air fiber is live, and fiber is not live. So these two components, air fiber and fiber, are literally a life changer. And the good thing about Supersonic is obviously the air fiber, because we are coming to areas of which doesn't have connectivity, and we're able to give them a quality connection. And I'm very happy that Supersonic is one of the only ISPs that is literally driving that. And we are where we are today, and I'll need to be honest with that. We are where we are today on the air fiber, all because of you. Supersonic is well recognized within the ranks of MTN, and there are certain businesses in MTN called EBU, of which they want to start driving the air fiber as well. So it's all because of MyTechie. If because remember, air fiber was like literally used as a proof of concept of some sort, and we have seen that it worked. If it was not for a company like MyTechie, we wouldn't have like literally gained the momentum and the attraction from the likes of M10 EBU if it wasn't for you. So for that, I think you all deserve a round of applause, and you are doing really a very, very good job. I'm very proud of your team and looking forward to creating more memories with you. That was just an
Awesome.
ad break. That was just an ad break.
No, we like the ad break, but now we're back to the how we tackle the morning, the afternoon, and the evening.
Yeah, no, definitely. So the thing is, when you sell, for an example, right, it's in the morning. Let's say Desmond Ngobeni or Nkateko Ngobeni wakes up around about 6. I normally wake up around about 5 or 4 o'clock every day. Then I start going through my personal stuff and emails there and there, where I have to do some projects. So by 6 o'clock, I normally take a bath. And if I am to go to meetings, let's say my meeting is somewhere in Featherbrook Estate, which is in Rudaport, or Krugersdorp in actual fact, I will take, I will then dress up, drive from here to, I stay in Pretoria, from Pretoria to Krugersdorp. So let's say I'm driving and my mind is like literally late, like my mind is like, I have to make sure that I get to the meeting right on time.
Yeah.
Right. And you can even see with my body structure that this person is running late for a meeting because I have to go and do a presentation, maybe to a board of directors. You as a salesperson, when you meet with me, maybe on the way there, you need to see if there's any agency in me. At times, it's very important for you to say, hi, so and so. My name is Desmond from MyTechie. I would like to propose for you fiber or internet services. Can I please take your details and call you later? Because there are those salesperson who just want to close a sale now. And at that time, I'm not really in the mood. I'm not really in the mood because I want to go to that meeting and do what I'm supposed to do. So that's why I'm saying, as a salesperson, you need to learn the gestures of your customer. Your customer will show you if you are invited or not invited. More especially now, we're living in times of COVID-19, like all these funny sicknesses. People are no longer that welcoming in their spaces. So it's very important to like literally look at the body structure of a person when you approach him, as to see if that person is really welcoming or not welcoming. And if he's not welcoming, how to then deal with him. Like the utmost important thing that we always say is to, when you greet a customer, look at him, make an eye contact. Making an eye contact with the customer says a lot. You can pick up whether the customer is really welcoming or he is welcoming you in his space or not. So it's very important to just do an eye contact, greet the customer in whichever way. Because here's the thing: if sometimes you have to be all professional to a customer, and looking at the customer is very friendly and welcoming, and you say, good morning, sir, so and so. And it's like, oh, eta, hola. You might find that the customer's language that he's using is a friendly language. Don't be all professional and continue saying, how are you today? Just say, how's it there? Just to speak the very same language that the customer is using. That way, you are going to win him because you're speaking the very same language that he's using on you. So that's very important. Eye contact and also the language that the customer uses. If the customer speaks in a language that is all professional, so it's all professional, you also need to be professional. Keep it professional at all times, depending on how the customer speaks to you. So, like I said, under when is the time. We spoke of the morning. Now, during the afternoon, we then know that certain customers, not customers, your clients or prospect customers rather, they're on lunch. You need to know that are they free to talk, because some of them take lunch between 12 until 2, their own lunch. That's where some people are available. And that's where you can then start approaching them. Mr. So and so, this is who I am. This is the kind of product I'm selling. I would like to give it to you. Here are the advantages of this product. For me, if you sell fiber or if you sell air fiber, you need to show the customer as to why does he or she need the product. Because the sad thing about the product you're selling, guys, there's only a certain number of million people who has it in South Africa. Fiber or internet is not yet really known in South Africa as you think it might be known. And it's very important for us to educate people on internet. I normally say you cannot just go to a customer and sell him a product that it doesn't know. In actual fact, it would be great if you go to a customer's house, you give him the service and you fully explain the service to him, break it down in such a way that he doesn't really have to panic whenever his internet is not working. I mean, like we are so used to Escom not working, right? Or our lights being off. We don't panic anymore. That's how a customer should be when his internet doesn't work. He shouldn't be in a panic mode because he knows that, okay, Desmond once told me that whenever my internet is not working, these are the things that I'm supposed to do. These are the troubleshooting steps that I have to take before I can even call the call center, because there are customers of which you might find that their children just disconnected the LAN cable from the router and the internet stopped working. And that person just starts freaking out, calling you and say, Desmond, you signed me up. My internet is not working. Fix it now. And customers sometimes they forget that your job was to just give him an education on what fiber is or on what air fiber is, and then your job is done because you're a salesperson. You only come back. The good thing about you as technicians is that you will come back later only when you are booked by Supersonic to go and assist that particular customer. So it's very important for you whenever you come into the space of the customer to like literally make sure that you educate him on what fiber is, because we've got people from different streams of education. There are those who did economics, there are those who are doctors. They don't know nothing about IT, because fiber like literally falls in the ranks of IT. So whenever you speak to your customers, make sure that you use a language that can really touch him, a language that he can easily understand. It's like you saying to a customer, you know what, I can see that your triple PoE is not authenticating. Like how will a customer understand as to what is it that you're talking about if he doesn't know what a triple pure is? He doesn't know what you mean when you say his triple pure is not authenticating. So you need to make sure that at all times when you speak to a customer, if a customer is IT oriented, you can use IT terms. If a customer is not, try to break it down to a level that a customer can easily understand. And I think that's the utmost important role that you need to always use when coming to a customer. You need to know as to which range are you stepping on the customers. Sorry, I got disturbed there. My phone was ringing. You need to like literally understand as to where does the customer belong to within the different fields. Is that clear?
Yes, very.
That's
Okay, cool.
great, Liz.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's the
Very
utmost
wonderful.
important.
Very wonderful.
Yeah, it's very, very important for us to always like make sure that whenever we speak to these customers, it's not all of them that knows what a router is. I mean, customers don't even know what a router is. They don't even know what a fiber box is. They don't even know what or ONT is. They don't know what a network cable is. They don't know what a data point is. All those terms of which you use within our space, it's like a foreign language to other people out there. So it's very imperative of us to adapt or try to break, all this complicity, because at times that's how we lose customers. Because you go out to a customer's house, and at that time, because of the knowledge that you might when you have, you get there, you speak all these big technological terms, only to find that the customer doesn't understand. And at times, customers are very, they've got pride. They don't want to show that they don't know what you're talking about, because some of them, they're moneyed. So it's not easy for him to say, what is that? And they would just listen to you. Oh, I hear you. Oh, I get it. Then off you go. The next thing, it doesn't know how this thing is working. And it becomes a problem again, because the customer will want to call you or call the call center for something that it was so simple for him to just know how to operate. So the language that you use within the customer is very important. I spoke of the eye contact, and then I spoke of the language. That those two things are very imperative whenever you go to a customer. Make sure that you are within the language that he can easily adhere to. And the utmost important thing that we always say when you go to a customer, you need to listen more than speaking more. Because there are customers of which they might know what they need, but they don't know on how to put it in words. So your listening is very important. You need to look at the body structure when he talks. You even feel the energy or the desperation that he has in getting the product, and you know that this is a close sale. So it's very important to look at those gestures when he talks and you are listening to him, because the biggest thing about us as well is that we don't listen to understand, we listen to respond. We normally say within the sales environment, you have to listen to understand what the customer needs from you. And then whenever then you respond with understanding, and it will show that you know what does the customer want. So it's very important for us to always use those fundamentals when you speak to our customers. Then the last one is obviously in the evening. That's mostly where most people are chilled, like let's say after work, it's 5 o'clock. Some like people are different. There are those who doesn't even want to talk to people anymore. Like look at how people used to do advertisement back in the days. They used to obviously use your billboards. Billboards was like a number one money making channel when you wanted to market your product. But as time or generation passed, you can see that people are like literally now using digital marketing. You can see that, you know why? Because they know where people are in most of the times. So you might know that, okay, during these times, maybe during lunchtime, people are on Facebook. That's where you can also like target them. But it also depends on the structure that you use to go out. So there are those who normally use foot soldiers, and I think it's something of which MyTechie is also gonna like literally be vast on that. They're gonna be sending people out to the estates, for them to like literally start signing up. So you need to then know as to when to like literally go out, because at times you might go to areas in times whereby people are at work, because like you need to study the geographics of the people that stays in an area. You might find that 90% of the people who stays there are working, and they work where maybe like 10 kilometers away from their homes. During the day when you're there trying to sell or campaigning within that area, there's no one. And then only to find that they only come back around about 5:30. So it's very important for you to study the geographics of all your customers or the areas that you're gonna attend to, because I've seen that happening. I had an opportunity to go to Middleburg and Witbank with Metro Fiber. I was with one of the account managers there. I saw as to how they were selling. They were literally doing a house-to-house campaign, but the sad thing is that there was no one in all these houses. And I thought, okay, people are waking up at those times. So it's very important to really understand as to when do you do this. See, this speaks to when, the timing. When do you normally are supposed to go to an area? And the question is, will the people be available for you whenever you want to speak to them? Okay. I think we are done with the when part. Is that clear? Are you all good? Any
Team, are we
questions
all
so
good?
far?
All clear, all clear.
I think we're good, Des.
So far,
Oh,
so
wait, we
good.
got a question.
Sure.
No? Okay, moving on, Des.
Okay, cool. Thank you. The next term being why. Why for me then defines then your product knowledge. Because if you don't have the product knowledge, it's going to be impossible for you to sell your product to your customer. Why am I selling this product to a customer? Why do you need this product as a customer? Because the biggest change about many people from a sales environment is that they just want to know that, hey, I'm selling and I just want to make commission. That's just about it. But as to, do they have the fundamentals of the product knowledge? They don't. Many people, they don't know the product they are selling. They don't know the difference between air fiber. They don't know the difference between air fiber and fiber, or 5G or LTE. So those things are very important. And you need to also see as to, with this customer, why am I supposed to give him fiber instead of air fiber? Or why am I supposed to give him air fiber instead of fiber? Because here's the thing. If you force giving a customer an air fiber product in an area whereby the network is not that good, that customer is going to come back to you. You would say to you, you promised him heaven on earth. Heaven and earth, I mean, and he's not getting what he was promised. So you need to, like, literally, this comes to you studying the area and just to see how good is the network there. And obviously the good thing is that in your side you do have the likes of Clement, you have the likes of Andre, who can, like, literally check all these things for you to see, is this product really suitable for this particular customer? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about you selling, but it's all about quality selling. And I normally say, I'd rather have 10 good customers than having 100 bad customers, because the 100 bad customers will then always complain about, there's bad quality, your internet's not working. And whose fault is it? It's a salesperson. You went out there, you sold a product to a customer in an area where the product is not that effective. So it's very important to then understand as to, why am I supposed to sell this particular product to a customer? Why are you selling that particular product? Are you sure that that product has been tried and tested in a way that you know that it works? So it's very important as to, why are you selling the product? Okay. I think we can move to the next phase, which is who.
I've got a quick comment there, Des.
Yes, sir.
Another why. It's important to our techies. I don't know if you've heard of the WIIFM. What's in it for me? And the important why
Yes.
for technicians when they're making a sale is they need to understand the flow of the economic value. We as technicians want to get our families fed. We want to get orders. We want to get work to install. How does an order come to a technician for an air fiber? It comes to a technician from an air fiber if Supersonic placed the order with MyTechie. Why and how does Supersonic place an order with MyTechie? If a client orders an air fiber from Supersonic, then it's possible for an order to be placed with MyTechie and us to pass it through to a technician so a technician can do it. So all of that goes back to taking control of your future as technicians by driving the sales for Supersonic, which means that a little fire is lit. A little transaction takes place, a client orders it and commits to paying a certain amount every month. And that means that a small amount of a job can then be given to MyTechie, which can be given to you. So that's really what's in it for you. It's important as techtrepreneurs that you understand that by creating a sales opportunity for Supersonic, you're creating a revenue opportunity for yourself.
Sure.
Okay, that's my
Thanks
Great.
for that, Andre. It's very important.
No, true. Thank you so much, man.
I just want to show the guys one picture, because I took a picture of Des the other day, and it's important when you're selling to dress properly. So let me show you this picture of Des doing sales. Okay, this is how passionate
Oh my
he is.
word! What?
He's even got the yellow jacket. He's ready to pounce, and he's going to get the sale. There's no ways that people are going to walk away from Des.
Phyllis, you want to ask a question?
Phyllis?
Please, go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. It's not a question, but I just wanted to add on to what Des was saying in terms of what Andre called what's in it for me. Andre looked at it from the point of view of the technician, and from a sales perspective, the customer would also want to know what's in it for him taking on air fiber. And I think that one of the things that as salespeople we have to do is to try and understand the competitive products that are around air fiber if you're selling air fiber. Like there's a saying, we need to understand why fiber and not air fiber, and why air fiber and not LTE. And in understanding that, we need to also even try and attach monetary values to the disadvantages of actually using one against the other, and then present that to the client to say, by not using this, this is what you're losing, or by using this, this is what you're gaining in terms of financial terms. And that would actually create a bigger opportunity for the client being interested in getting on to buy the products.
For sure, Fidelis,
Yeah.
very much so. In this economic climate, it definitely rands and cents are gonna be a huge factor in somebody signing up.
No, definitely.
I mean,
Yes.
I know how much cell data, I use cell data as a hotspot, and I know how much I spend a day on cell data, and it's horrendous.
Mm. Mm.
But thanks, Fidelis. Andre, back
Fidelis, yeah.
to you. Back to you, Des.
Yeah, that was really a good ad break, and that was just a side joke, there, guys. That's not me, hey.
You want to see a real picture of Des? I've got a
Yes,
real.
proudly
Do you?
supersonic. What can
Yeah.
I say? Proudly supersonic.
Where did you get it?
Amateur
I'll,
stalkers.
I'll show you a real picture of Des. Okay, this is the picture of him at the last day of the month when he's trying to make target and he's gone and stood in front of the. So let's see if I can get this picture. He's quite strong, you know.
Oh, Andre, you naughty.
Thanks, Des. Carry on.
Nah, it's good that you give us some loves, eh? We need it. Like you said, we need to always keep all these trainings very casual. Yeah. So like you know, like the way you've been stressing the value proposition of why it's like you made me remember as to we need to show the customer why you need this product, you know, give him scenarios. For an example, if a customer, I heard you just now, Sharon, talking about how much you spend on just your mobile data. I mean, like, let's say you are a father of 5 children, so in your family you are kind of like 6, and you need to make sure that each and every one of your children have got connectivity, meaning that in a month you might end up spending around about 1,000
For
just
sure.
on mobile data. So that as well plays a very imperative role as to why a customer needs a stable connectivity, and obviously the costing, it's going to be way cheaper because of like you spending 1,000 or more just on data instead of spending 700 on unlimited data, because your children will have unlimited access to the internet instead of them minding as to, oh, I have to make sure that I save my data, you know. So those are some of the value proposition that you always need to use when you're selling to customers. Now,
Sorry, just to interrupt you for a
sure.
second. You know what I've realized? We always go straight to our children needing data, and it's true for studying, for connectivity. But I've realized now where I'm living, there's a very large old age pension population, and you'd be surprised how the pensioners are using WhatsApp groups and
Sure.
social media because they're lonely. Inherently, they're lonely, and they spend a huge amount of time forwarding pictures of grandchildren and jokes and chatting. And we've underestimated our pension population who are wanting to be in contact with, just to chat, because they actually are lonely on a day-to-day basis.
That is so true, eh? You remind me of one of the estates that I'm responsible for. There's an estate called Waterfall Valley. It's right next to Mall of Africa. it's like only the matured people, and we only call them the matured. We don't call them the elderly. So yeah, it's the matured people. Like you are so right. Whenever they don't have connectivity, they feel like, what, their world has come to an end, because they
Yeah.
want to connect with their children in Europe. They want to, watch
Correct.
Netflix movie. They want to speak to their families. So connectivity is very important. And that literally touch the next phase, the who. This like literally speak to the age factor as to who is your target market, because selling needs to, goes hand in hand with whom are you targeting. You don't just sell randomly. Who's the person that you're supposed to be talking to. So that then will show you as to, are you gonna get that sale or not. Because at times, if you, like those guys who normally sell like your 10 rands MTN SIM cards, they just give them to random people. They don't really care, because they know that we all need a SIM card. Many people need SIM cards, most especially within your busy towns or townships. They know that there will be someone who needs a SIM card. They don't even look at whether you're well dressed or not. They'll say, hey, 10 rand, SIM card, 10 rand. They know that that's their target market. So you need to understand firstly as to, when you go out and sell, who is your target market. So we just made an example now with elderly people. You now know that all these old people, they need connectivity. But for you to like literally sell it to them, you need to break it down in languages that they can easily understand, and show them why they need this connection for them. Because some of them end up buying like your LTE routers and paying around about 400 rand a month, and they do run out of data there and there. They have to top up. So you then give them scenarios as to, those scenarios will kiss their needs, and they will see that without this connection, I won't be able to speak to my loved ones. I won't be able to be connected at any time that I want to be connected. So the who factor that literally speaks to the kind of a sale, the product that you're gonna sell. I normally say, if I see this customer now, the sad thing about the Supersonic side is that we don't really pay per package. Back in the days when we used to train the sales agents, because they were paid commission per package. If you sold a 10 meg, this is how much you're gonna get. If you sold 100 meg, this is how much you're gonna get. So the whole factor also speak to that, to say, let's say for an example, a customer is live for fixed LTE and also fiber. You can see that this guy is well off. Why would you want to give him a fixed LTE for 400 instead of giving him fiber uncapped for 1,000? So you need to look at the kind of a class of a person that you are selling to, because it's a fact that we need to touch all these phases, right? We've got like the poorest of the poorest, and you've got your middle class, and you've got the rich, and then the wealthy ones. So you need to then know as to, if I go to the poorest, which kind of a package am I supposed to sell? Because the problem about me going to a person who's poor and wanting him to take a package that is 1,000 a month, right? You know what's going to happen? It's going to be a problem to billing. Like you always, they always suspend him, because that's what they do. They'll suspend him because not paying, because not able to afford, because he was just excited by the fact that you or pitched a sale to him, and he loved it because of the manner in which you sold you pitched your sale. But the utmost important thing is to firstly create that relationship with the customer and touch his needs. And look, put yourself in his shoes at times, because the thing about salespeople at times is that they're very selfish, and you don't know as to, if I can give you a product that you need, you can be able to go and tell your neighbor and say, you know what, Desmond once helped me, I'm now paying only 400 for such a package. Think about it. Now, don't you want it? I want it. Take his number and call him. Instead of me trying to sell you something of which I know that pocket-wise you're not really able to afford. So it's very important to know as to if I go to this kind of a class, what type of a product am I supposed to sell to this customer? If you go to a middle class, you know that what type of a product can a middle class afford? Between a 10 and 20, that's what on the 5, I'm talking about the 5 because we've got different packages of which you know of them. If a customer then I can see that is in the middle class, he can only afford the 10 and the 20. That's what you need to give him. And if a customer says, you know what, I can only afford a 10 meg, you need to also then break it down to him to say, Mr. Customer, you are gonna get a 10 meg. You've got, let's say, a family of 5, right? And as you have a family of 5, you also want to connect different gadgets on the very same network. There might be a possibility that, you know what, you might get slow speeds there and there because there are many people who will be connected to the network. Let's say, for an example, right, many people are now buying smart TVs. You know that a startup speed for a smart TV network is supposed to be run up at a 20 meg. So if a customer is taken a 10 meg for his house and he's got a family of 5, they all different. They all have different gadgets of which they want to use to connect into the network, and the speed start deteriorating there and there. The customer's gonna call you again and say, Desmond, you said whatever that you're selling me was good. And I'll say, yes, I did tell you that it was good, but remember, I did also give you the other side of it or the flip side of it. I said to you, the more devices are connected to the network, what the network will do, it will firstly target one device as a main priority. It will prioritize the first device. For example, if there are 5 cell phones and 1 TV, just know that most of the bandwidth will go to the TV because that's what the network does. It will prioritize the device of which it sees that this is a device that needs more bandwidth than the rest. So let's say you're on a 10 meg, the 7 meg will be on the TV, then the rest of you all be on the 1 meg. So that's just the things that you need to know when you go out to a customer and a customer says, I want a 10 meg package. And you can also just give him reasons as to, look, the 10 meg is on about 695, but the 20 meg is 845. So it's just a difference of 100 and odd rand. So you can be able to manage the 20 meg instead of the 10 meg. So that's how you normally are supposed to play around with these middle class customers. And then like your rich people, it's very easy to sell. You just need to give him what he needs. He just needs connectivity, and it will tell you how much does it cost. Doesn't really, they're not really bothered as to how much does it cost, as long as it works. And you just have to make sure that you pitch it accordingly, and then you've got the wealthy ones. Then you know as to what kind of speeds do they normally need. So this literally speaks to who. So your target market is a determining factor of which will then touch why and when. And then then the last one, do you have any question under who?
No,
Or comments?
it's incredibly insightful.
Okay, great, thank
Guys,
you.
any comments? No, the team is comfortable.
I think they're all busy digesting it, Des. So you can carry on.
Okay, cool. Glad to hear that, Janine. And now the last one is where. Like this also plays a very vital role, right? Because all these 4 pointers, they will then determine your time. They all speak to your time management in actual fact, because where you're selling the product says a lot. Because if you go to places like I said, I'm from Pretoria, like Atteridgeville, Soshanguve, Mamelodi, Easteres, all these areas. Like for an example, let's take Soshanguve as an example. Um, People are not yet like literally accustomed to fiber. Let's use the likes of Vumatel as a good example. What Vumatel does, they've got a project called Vuma Reach. It's a project where they just go to like your locations or townships. They just go and deploy fiber there, and then they connect all the houses within the townships. But the thing is, people will then know I'm connected to the internet. They don't even really understand that the internet that you are connected through is fiber. All that people want is connectivity, right? But as to why am I having Vuma Reach instead of like your Vuma Core? Your Vuma Core is like your normal 10 to 200 megs. So the Vuma Reach kind of like deployment of fiber, it uses the fiber box as the router as well. So there's no need for any of the internet service provider to go out and like literally do any connections. So everything is done by Vomatel. So once a customer signs up, they can like literally get their codes through the likes of I'm not sure if ShopRite and all that, and just for them to recharge. They can do it in month by month as a prepaid, or depending on if you want a fixed one. So that shows that you are selling such a product to the poor of the poorest. Where is that in Soshanguve or in townships? So if you ought to sell in such places, you then know the type of people that you are dealing with. So the where really speaks to who. So that's why we always say it's very important for you to know as to if you are to sell, because we have seen some of the sales from Mamelodi, and I've seen that most of them are always obviously a fiber. You then know as to which product will people take, because you are very accustomed to an area. You have studied the area. So the area studying is very important for you to have a study of the area is very, very imperative, because it will then show you whether you are going to be able to sell in high volumes or not. And I have to say this, right? Most of the sales are within the black market. Like I promise you, most of the successful business people, they will tell you that I started my business within the black market. That's where I grew. I started selling, and I had started having or attracting more customers, and I'm where I am today because of that. So that literally gives you an idea as to which areas am I supposed to target, because it's very important for you to know where are you selling. If you ought to go to the likes of waterfall, for example, you know that you won't even be given permission to enter the premises, because once you get there, you need to tell the security as to whom are you going to see. You need to obviously have a code with you. So you need to know the area that I'm going to, how's the security. You need to even know if is it really full of dogs? Because don't want to be beaten by dogs.
Nobody wants to be bitten.
You understand? You need to study all those things. It's very important.
It's very important.
It is very important. So where you are going to sell is very, very important, guys. So these four elements like literally speak to the nature of a salesman. The nature of a salesman will then give the drive that you need to have as you're going to sell to your customers. So it is very important for us to use all these four phases whenever we are selling. I normally call them the four principles of selling. So, like I've given you all these four principles of selling, of which touches the project management cycle. Like we said, you need to start your project. We have started it, right? By you becoming a dealer, or by you becoming a technician under MyTechie, working for in connection with Supersonic. You have started the project. You are now in the planning phase. And I know that you have been executing, obviously, from the F-fiber side of things, of which you've been doing great. But we're now talking from specifically the fiber. We are now in the planning phase as to how do you plan, because look, Supersonic is accounted with more than 14 fiber network operators. Now, if you can think of how many one fiber network operator, I mean, how many customers or homes passed, because there's this what we call homes passed versus home connected. So home passed speaks to the likes of Vomatel or OpenServe going to an area they just start building, let's say they speak to the homeowners associations, or you can call them estate managers, or estate agency. So they get to that area and say, look, this is who we are. We would like to deploy fiber in your estate. Let's say it's an estate that has more than 2,000 houses. We would like to deploy fiber within your estate. Please give us a permission to do that. And what we'll do in return for you as a homeowners association clubhouse, or if there is a clubhouse that is under the HOA, we will then give you free internet. We also make sure that we give you like free cameras so that you can be able to monitor your clubhouse or your area within the estate. So, okay, the HOA will say yes. OpenServe, you can come and deploy your fiber. OpenServe gets there, and they make sure that in each and every street there is fiber, right? They make sure that each and every street there is fiber. Now that is literally called fiber to the curb, or it's literally called fiber to the curb. So if a customer then applies with his or her preferred internet service provider, the internet service provider will then take the details of the customer, send it through to the FNO, in this case, which is OpenServe. OpenServe will capture the details of the customer, and after that, they say, okay, cool. They call the customer, Mr. Customer, we're going to come on this particular day to firstly maybe do a site survey, and then we do installation for you. Then, as per the agreement, they go and do what you call a last mile connection, because there was fiber to the gate, because that's what we mean when we say fiber to the curb, or fiber to the main hole. It's that there is fiber from the street to the gate of the customer, or closer to the gate of the customer. And then when the customer then applies with his ISP, then OpenServe will then come back to pull the fiber from where it is to his house. Now that's why we call FTTH. It's now fiber to the house. You now fiber ready. Like I said, there's homes passed and homes connected. So it's very important for you as a salesperson as well, when you go to fiber areas, to very understand that, is this house fiber ready? Because if the house is fiber ready, you then stand a chance of the house to be connected within 4 to 5 days. But if there's no fiber connection, you then also tell the customer and explain the process to the customer to say, the reason why maybe the installation won't take sooner as expected is because OpenServe will then need to come back and pull the fiber from the gate to your house, into your house, because we'll then send or come back through Supersonic and then activate you with the router. So that is something of which you need to always be cognizant of when you go to all these areas. Just firstly see if, is this area fiber live? Yes, it is fiber live, because Andre will be able to let you know that this area is fiber live. But the utmost important thing is, what is the house fiber live? Because some customers are full of excitement. Oh, I'm now waiting for Supersonic to install me with the fiber, and they don't even really understand that it's not really Supersonic that installs you with the fiber. It's the fiber network operator that does the fiber installation. All that we do, we give you the internet services. And how do we do it? We then bring a technician, maybe in the form of MyTechie, to give you your username and the password. The utmost important thing that you need to also look at, because customers don't know whether they are signing up for Wi-Fi or broadband. Those two things are very different, because customers think whenever I sign up for internet services, my whole house will be wired on Wi-Fi. They do not know as to what kind of a service are we selling as an internet service provider. So in this case, Supersonic is a broadband provider. Yes, our routers are Wi-Fi stricken. They can provide up to 7 to 8 meters, 10 meters if possible, range of Wi-Fi, and then that's just about it. And there are many variants of which can literally prevent a customer from getting throughput signal throughout the house, like your concrete. like your zinc and metal, many things that can like literally disrupt or cause the customer not to get quality signal throughout there. So you need to be very exploratory to a customer on that. You say, Mr. Customer, you have taken a supersonic router of which can support Wi-Fi, but are you aware that you need to make sure that your entire house is wired on Wi-Fi so that wherever you might be, you can be connected to Wi-Fi? They normally say the utmost used room within the house is the bathroom or the toilet on when coming to Wi-Fi. Many people spend more time on their phones on Wi-Fi or when they're in the toilet or the bathroom, because that's the point whereby many people tend to relax. If you want to get away from your children, just go and put a hot shower or hot bath in a shower to sit there. You scroll on your phone, you look at Twitter up until your water gets cold. You open the tab again, or like, now I'm done bathing. So it's like that. So the reason why people sometimes sign up for Wi-Fi is because of that. They want connectivity when they're bathing. So if you don't explain that, Mr. Customer, look, your router will be downstairs, right? But you want connectivity upstairs, meaning that you will then need what you call your internal reticulation on Wi-Fi. You need to send out a technician to come and show you that maybe you might need a data point there. The data point will then be pulled from the fiber box through to your data points, right? When you connect your router there, you can still be able to have Wi-Fi within any designated area in your house. So it's very important to then educate your customer whenever you go and sell him a product. And all these things should flow natural to you because it's something that you work with every day. It's something of which even when a person wakes you up at 12 o'clock and say, explain to me how can I get connected on the internet, you're supposed to give the customer all these details. To you, you might think that it's not important, but it is very important to a customer, because the customer, when he buys internet from an internet service provider, it just wants connectivity and nothing else. It just want to be connected. So it's very imperative of us to have such a mindset whenever we go out and sell products to our customers. I won't like literally delve into the type of products that we sell, because I know that your management has been doing a great job on that. But my main aim, it was to literally try to provoke you and also challenge you in a way, and also create that hunger for you to be a salesperson. A sales job is the number one paying, if you didn't know, it's because it based on you as to how I want to be paid. So the more effort you put in, it's the more money you'll make. I remember, as I'm gonna close, and sorry, Sharon.
Des,
Yes.
before you want to close, can you just touch on the products that they are able to sell, like your fixed LTE, 5G, the air fiber, as well as fiber, the FTTH, just so that they have an understanding of the full service offering that Supersonic can actually offer.
Okay, cool.
Because we've been focusing, as you know, on air fiber.
Oh, and air fiber.
There's more to this than just air fiber, guys. We have got a whole range of things, and that's why I keep saying to our active installers, if you go to install and there's a failed installation, and some of our techies have already done a fabulous job with this, is that you immediately can say to the client, look, your air fiber might have failed. However, let's quickly check and see if you don't have access to fixed LTE or 5G. And some might even have actual fiber product available to them.
Yes.
So it's a matter of popping WhatsApp through to me at the moment, and I'm able to give you the answer, or as we've been doing, is speak to the client directly, and we get them immediately signed up for fixed LTE or 5G. And we let Supersonic know that it was a failed install, and that we're now actually applying for another product, so that we don't have to, the client will still have to do the e-mandate and the debit order bit, but they don't have to actually go in and re-verify all their proof of residence, etc., because Supersonic already has that from the application say the air fiber application. So the documents are there. It's now a matter of swapping it over to a new product that can possibly work for them, seeing that air fiber wasn't available or that they had the failed install.
Sure.
So let's not lose a sale or lose a client. Let's help Supersonic keep the clients and assist in building on the products and the service offerings that they are able to offer.
Yeah, no, definitely. We don't want to lose any customers. So now you are right. In areas where there's gonna be a failed installation, we should really try to like literally sell product to customers. And the other good thing is that we are gonna launch soon. I'm just whispering this to you. A MiFi, like your LTE routers, you know them, right? The MiFis. We are gonna launch them, so it's gonna come as a good package as well. If a customer is in an area whereby fixed LTE is not live, because I've seen that, and I think Janine, you have sent such some of these examples of customers of which there was a failed install for air fiber, and then when you checked, there was no fixed LTE. So in such instances is where we can then start selling the MiFi
That's the
to
ones
them.
that I was hoping that you can make a plan, I guess.
Yeah. So it's impossible for us to, but now we have come up with a remedy. We're gonna launch the MiFi soon. You will see all the packages under MiFi. It's good. It's just an LTE because the thing is, I think we're gonna get that to that. I don't know what time do I normally have for this? I talk a lot, guys. I talk a lot. I love talking. So
can I just ask, is there any questions from any of our techies that are online at the moment and our guests to Des? Is there any questions that you guys might have that Des can answer? Otherwise, you know that I'm always available, and Sharon and Andre and Clemens is always available for you guys. But is there anything that you would like to pertinently ask Des? Please ask the question now. Okay, Eric.
Thanks. I just want to know how many megs do I need for TV and for cell phones?
Okay, cool. I can answer that. Thank you for the question. So if for that, it depends firstly on the size of your TV, right? Because it depends on inches. You might have a 55 inch, you might have a 70 inch or 75. So it depends firstly on that. But we normally recommend for a standard smart TV, we recommend you to have at least a 20 meg worth of speed so that you can be able to connect your TV and also your other what you call your devices. Thanks, Janine. Your devices in the house. So it's just a recommendable speed. But if you cannot afford a 20 meg, you can always start on a 10. That's on the fiber. Remember, I'm just speaking on the fiber. But with regards to air fiber, you can obviously take maybe the 10 meg as well. So it depends on firstly which product speaks to your needs. Is it the air fiber or the fiber? But when coming to the air fiber, we always recommend you to have from a 20 meg upwards. And yes, the 10 meg does work, but the important is that as time goes, you start experiencing intermittent buffering or intermittent connectivity in your house. So that way, we don't want you to give you something that won't work for you. We want to give you something that you need, and you know that you can rely on it. So for you to be able to rely on your network, you at least need a 20 meg to have good speed. I know of customers of which you are signed up over the years. They're on the 10 meg. Some of them are happy, even though they've got a smart TV. So that's what I'm saying. And if it buffers there and there, we normally say connect your TV using a network cable, meaning that if you can look at your router, your router has got 4 ports at the back. You can just connect to any one of those ports on the LAN 1 until LAN 4. Connect a cable, network cable from it to your TV. use a direct connection when using a television. Don't use Wi-Fi, because when you connect directly, your internet becomes more stable. Whatever speed that is on your router, it will be on the TV. But if you connect via Wi-Fi, like I told you, of priority, it will start breaking. You won't really get the speed that is on your router. So it's always important to do a direct dial-up. Eric, were you answered, sir? Oh, sorry.
The nice thing, Eric, is that if people sign up, say, for 10 meg, and you decide 2-3 months down the line that, look, you need a faster speed, one can always upgrade to a faster speed. So
yes.
I'm always saying to clients, who say, but it's expensive. I always say, well, then don't start off with the expensive one. Start off with a 10 meg or even the 5 meg. Start off with that. And if you see it doesn't work for you, rather upgrade, but go in accordance of what you can pay, because it is a monthly fee and a monthly cost that needs to be covered every month, or else you get closed off. Or what did you call it, Des?
Suspended, yeah.
There we go. Your service gets suspended, and you don't really want people's service to be suspended. Did that answer your question, Eric? Peter, do you want to ask your question?
I'm answered. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Eric. Peter, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, I do have a question. Marketing materials. Are we going to get any marketing materials? T-shirts, car stickers, anything like that? Because it helps convincing clients that we are genuine. These days it's very difficult. Yeah, for me coming up to you and saying, wearing a Pirates T-shirt, saying, hey, give me your details, give me your fiber. Maybe if I'm wearing a Mamelodi Sundowns T-shirt,
Peter, are you from Mamelodi?
I'm from Harangua.
Oh, okay, cool. Look, I think that question, we are trying to address it with management. Yeah, we are trying to address it with management, and we will definitely be giving you marketing materials, more especially when you are doing activations. It also depends on what type of a technology you're gonna sell. What do I mean about technology? Is it gonna be a fiber, fixed LTE, or fiber, or 5G? So within activations, we obviously have to give you a gazebo, and you obviously need to have flyers with you. We are literally looking at that, and I think we have spoken to your management on it. They've really been on my case. Your management really appreciate and want what's best for you. So we are looking at that internally. We've been in talks with our marketing team to literally give you what you guys need. More especially t-shirts. T-shirts become like the utmost important thing for any organization, because it speaks to the identity that you have. So just to answer you on that, Peter, so we are working on it.
Peter, I can tell you now, Sharon is totally relentless on that. And if anything, Sharon will make sure that we get it. Okay.
We are
I'll wait for it.
collateral, come what may.
Thank you very much for that. Sandile, you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question.
Go for it.
Yeah, let's say I'm in a place where there is no actual fiber, and there is no air fiber coverage, and there is no even LTE coverage. So, and then I got like 200 to 300 customers that got potential. How long does it take for Supersonic to bring the infrastructure to that area? Because I've been come across with so many communities that they don't have infrastructure. But now, what is their plan? What is their process? And how long does it take? Because I've been promising people, no, I'm just, if you can just sign up, and then I'll just send the list to Supersonic, and then.
Sorry, Sandile, can I just interrupt you there? There's where this is coming from. Sandile has been selling hard for people within KZN.
Sure.
And the areas that have shown the interest, there's no BN in that area, or they just fall out of the BN area. So he's wanting to know, obviously, because they are all desperate and they want they want either fiber or air fiber or even fixed LTE, but there is just none of that in their areas. How
Sure.
long will it take for Supersonic to be able to put some form of connectivity in those regions?
Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Cool, Babsandile. Okay, cool. I fully do understand your question. So it firstly it depends on who has the appetite for that area, to be honest with you. Like I'll just make an example from the M10 scope review. M10 has not literally been building new fibers. The last time it built, it was done about 5 years ago. So all that they've been doing is just to maintain existing estates by upgrading the network and making sure that all the M10 named estates are in a well-maintained or taken care of a network of some sort. Because remember, MTN plays as an open network access. So meaning that they have got more than 12 internet service providers, of which can sell under them. So from an M10 point of view, currently, to be honest with you, we have not been building any new fiber. We've just been maintaining. But if you can look at the likes of Vumatels and them, they're the ones who have been doing that. So in such areas, I normally say it's very imperative of the homeowners association to maybe go to the likes of Vumatel or OpenSafe to say, guys, we're in a state of 300 people. We would like to have connectivity within our estate or our area. And then what they will do from their side as OpenServe or Vumatel, they will then do what you call show my interest within their.
Sorry, Des?
Yes.
Why Sandile is also asking this is because before we actually became a reseller, when Aubrey and the likes of Calvin and them were still at Supersonic, we were told that if we can get 200 plus people in an area to show interest for air fiber,
Yes.
they would get United Wireless to put up a BN, and for air fiber then to be deployed in that
Sure.
area. And I think that is what Sandile is aiming at. Correct,
Okay.
Sandile?
Yes, you're correct, you're right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just to get clarity, Sandile, you are specifically talking about air fiber, right? Customers.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I think it is something of which we can still do from our end. If we do have such a list of 200 and odd customers of which they need connectivity, I mean, we should drive it with our MTN people to say, guys, can you please try and assist by deploying a BN in this particular area, because we have this number of customers of which have shown interest to want air fiber. So definitely that can be done. So to be honest with you, I like transparency. I'm not sure with regards to the timelines, but if you can bring those lists forward, we will make sure that from our end we assist. But the scope of explanation that I was giving to you, it was just also on the fiber as to what normally happens on the fiber. But on the fixed air fiber, we should be able to assist you if you forward that list to us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right,
Does
cool.
that
Thanks,
answer
sir.
your question, Sandile?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sasido, I'm not too sure how to pronounce your name, but would you like to ask Des a question?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Yeah, my question to the guest here, the challenge that I always get when I try to resell the Supersonic air fiber is that people, they do comparison with what is existing in their area. When I have the pamphlet of air fiber from Supersonic, they will complain that it's too expensive while they're having a cheaper one, even though they might complain that it's not reliable. And then maybe they might think MTN or Supersonic can offer them better connectivity. But the complaint mostly is the price level.
Yeah. Just remember that now we've been open, because we've become a dealer for Supersonic. We're now open to be able to sell all Supersonic's products. So we can now not only just sell air fiber, we can also sell fixed LTE, 5G, and fiber to the home, as long as they've got the network coverage within their area. The cheapest product at the moment, though, with the Supersonic basket is the 5 meg air fiber at 399. So, yeah.
So just to
And
add
Des
to
is
that,
saying that something new was going to be launched pretty soon. So that might answer to what you're asking now.
yeah. So just to add to what Jenny is saying, Sidiso, I think it's very important. Like when you spoke of those 4 factors or principles that you use when you go to sell to customers as to where are you selling, that speaks to that. So if you are selling in an area whereby customers have got their own internet, provider of which is not reliable, like you said, you need to give them reasons as to, yes, mine might be a bit more costly than yours, but it's reliable. It works anytime, any day, and you don't share the line. This line is only yours. You need to start giving them reasons as to why they're supposed to go with you instead of going with someone else. So you need to then sell, because look, people will always tell you that I won't go with this one because I've got a cheaper one. I'm paying 200 a month for what you call
Rain.
rain. Yeah.
But remember, there's always sunshine after rain. That's why Supersonic, we need to speak to the yellow, the sun.
No, definitely. I mean, I've let go of many customers who canceled Supersonic and went to rain. I told them you're gonna come back. Most
Well,
of them, they're back.
Just to bring us
Does
back
that answer your question, Tashido?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Andre, following through now what Nkateko said, would you be able to pull up that map that literally shows like the vast potential that we have of areas that are done and areas that are about to come online? Would you perhaps maybe just spend 2 or 3 minutes unpacking the potential of how we've got to target this? Because bearing in mind, we have to next Thursday give Nkateko a detailed targeted area on how we're going to do this. So
Sorry,
Andre's
Sharon,
just
before we go down that
you...
line, I think there was another question from Vincent.
Oh, sorry, my apologies, Vincent. Please go ahead.
Maybe he's dropped off. Yeah, I think he's dropped off.
I think it became emotional because it was not recognized. I'm
Oh,
joking.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Vincent's here. Vincent's here. All is good.
Vincent, do you want to ask your question?
No. I think the question was already been clarified by one of the speakers here. Then that's why I just withdraw my question.
Okay, excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Okay. Yes, give us an area that pick any area that you think we should focus on from a fiber point of view, and I'll zoom in on.
Is it supposed to be in Gauteng?
Anyway, there's the map. Pick a zone.
KZN.
KZN is fine.
Anybody want to give me an area? Don't tell me where there's no fiber.
Margate. Margate.
Yes. You KZN people. Yes. Okay, let's have a look at Margate. What do we got down there? You've got nothing, absolutely nothing.
Oh,
look
dear.
at that.
Oh dear.
You go a bit further down, you've got this place here called Heberdean.
Yeah.
Sandwich Port. You see here. So there's over 400,000 lines of fiber that Supersonic want us to sell. This red means it's new inbuilt, it's process of being built, it's work in progress. The red does not mean that it's Vodacom, although Vodacom are trying to sell this.
Vodacom are there in a heavy
there
way.
is 486 units in this place here. And you'll see there's lots of little units inside and they all have different things. So somebody in this area needs to help us sell this fiber before Vodacom eats it up. We want to paint it yellow. But this is just a few examples. If I zoom out a bit again of KZN and I go a little bit further up the coast, you see this is more being built here. more being built there. If you go right the way down to Nktakeo, you'll see a couple of different colors. So the dark shaded area is open access fiber that's already available. Nothing, no issue selling any of this fiber here. There's over 400,000 lines of fiber we can sell here in all of these places. So if you know anybody here, and if I had to switch on the techies, these are.
Does any of the techies want to ask Andre to look at a specific area?
So you can see those are just some of the techie that we've got around those areas there. Let's have a look at Witbank, for example. Bank, Imasheni. There's some new sites in there. We did some work around Middleburg today, so that's Witbank. And you can see how much fiber there is around there. If you look at that over on top of that, you look at the air fiber. There's air fiber coverage as well that you can sell. And this is just some of the technicians that are available in that area that live in that space that could go in and go and sell any fiber to any of these homes inside whatever this place is here. Yakaru Plotter. There's 230 units there. So that's just an example. And all of these areas that have got fiber coverage, and any address inside here is prime target for fiber. Look at this, the density here of this Clearwater eco estate. Inside here, there's a lot of opportunity. I don't know how many people have got fiber there. They all need fiber, I promise you. And there's a little cluster over here being built at the moment. So that's the kind of data we've got access to. We need to you need to decide if you want to help me, help us, to help you, mobilize people in here, get those attitudes that Des has been talking about, the context of the sale, the time of day, the attitude, your body language, the eye contact, your name, and get them through to the point where they're prepared to dip their hand in their pocket and spend 300 or 400 rand a month. And
well, you've got a question. I'm assuming you've got a question for Andre. Do you want to ask him a question?
Yes, I wanted him to check for me if he can check like our area in Cape Town, like Parklands.
Parklands.
Yes, Parklands, Cape Town.
Parklands, Cape Town, eh? We've got plenty of air fiber coverage around there, I think. Let's just go to the Cape. Very easy to fly there in Google Earth.
Yeah.
So is that Parklands area? No, it's not. I've got something else here. Let's go Parklands. Parklands, Cape Town. Search for that. Yeah, it's there. That's the air fiber coverage currently. We haven't been given a lot of fiber for some reason, KMLs in this area, but that doesn't mean there isn't fiber there. There is probably fiber there, I promise you. It just hasn't been given in a particular file to me. But if you had to go onto the Supersonic website, which I can do, and we can put in the...
And now, if you've got people that are interested, if you send me the details, I can also look for you on the portal, and I can immediately tell you what they've got available.
Yeah, and the reason why you won't be able to see the Meneer is because it's under Frogfoot. I think Parklands is under Frogfoot. So the KML files.
Give me an address.
I'll give Andre address.
We can say 20. Okay,
20.
Just put like 20 Madison Square Gardens.
Madison Square. In Edgemead. Is it Edgemead? This one. Can you see my screen? Can you guys hear me? No?
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you, but we can't see where it says Edgemead.
Oh,
yeah. So there's fiber there, yeah.
So in this case, there's LTE, air fiber, fiber packages, and 5G. So in this area, we would recommend that you go fiber, and then you can have a look at the packages that are available to you. This is what you can see public domain. You know, you could, if you can see anything here that you think can be sold and you get that through to us, we can get it sold and help the client get through the process. And you can do this on the Supersonic website yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, just to add what
Okay.
you're saying just now, Mania, right? And as you can see, because like if you can just choose Parklands on the coverage map, you will see that you will see a different FNO. I think it's under Frankfurt, if not mistaken. So it does happen that within the very same area, it can show maybe Vodacom or so and so as the whole area. But as you break it down, like you did here, you gave a stand number and the address of the customer, and it gave you a different FNO. So you might come up with such things. So just type Parklands and let's see.
And then Cal, just so that Andre, so that we make it clear, if you do this, don't let the customer apply on that portal, because then there's no link back to you or MyTechie. They rather get the customer information, get it through to us so that we can place the order on their behalf directly onto the portal so that it is linked to MyTechie. And on that, I can also make a note, or Sharon or whoever's doing the order can make a note to say that you were the referring technician for that. Okay.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Noted.
Are you covered, Cal?
Yeah, so much covered. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to try an address? Not win the jackpot. We're special on tonight. Everything is twice the price for half the quantity.
But Techie Team, while Andre is affording you this opportunity and showing you how exciting it is, how we've got huge portions of the country. Andre, maybe let's look we've got Checkmore. Let's look if there's any fiber in the Northern Cape.
No, there's no fiber in the Northern Cape.
No fiber.
We use satellite there, don't you understand? The Northern
We
Cape.
use VSAT. Anything in Free State?
Yes, there is fiber in Free State, in some portions of Free State though.
Okay.
I think Vincent had raised his hand.
Vince, is your hand up? Okay, so to ask the techies, how have you found this presentation? You now understand that we can sell a whole range of, and we will put it on the WhatsApp groups, the different prices and the different products that you can sell. But are you now, and please chat to me, be honest, be offensive if need be. Do you feel that you've learned something from Des now? Like I can be a techie, but I can also be a sales agent. So I can be the master of my destiny. I can ensure that if I can drive 10 fiber sales a week and get in the region of 350 Rand, that's wonderful. That's a great income for a techie to have, or a wife, or a child that's not necessarily made up his mind whether he wants to do a gap year or immediately start studying, or a friend or a family member. So I have found this incredibly beneficial, and I really hope that you've been given the tools, and that's the best thing that can happen. Once you've been given the tools, it's up to you to now use those tools and really do the best to your ability. Carl, you want to ask another question?
Hello.
Okay.
Cal, do you want to ask a question? You muted if you want to ask a question.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I wanted to say to Aaron that yeah, we actually got it, the whole thing, but the point is now, I think the biggest storyline
Oh, you're breaking up badly, I'm afraid. Don't you want to perhaps type your question in the chat box?
The
and then
marketing material of it.
Okay.
So whether it's
You want to be able to have a flyer or a brochure when you
Hello?
start this project.
So Cal, just to answer you on the marketing side, Sharon has been working hard with Supersonic in terms of getting some marketing material, etc. They are busy working on that, and as soon as we have a clearer way forward with Supersonic with regards to when the marketing information and materials will be available, we will make sure that we get it out to all our interested techies. But at the moment, we have some generic flyers that can be used on WhatsApp and on digital platforms. We do have some techies that have actually gone and printed their own, but there is that's available that could be used.
Yeah, there's the packages right there. But
I don't know, I think we've run out of time because it's now nearly 8 o'clock, hey?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I'm going to do a wrap up now. So whilst we wrap up with Nkateko's amazing presentation, are you feeling more confident? Are you understanding where, what, why, how you approach the people, why you approach them, when you approach them? Has that become clearer? Has that given you a nice sense of understanding of, I know where I'm going now? Have the techies felt that that was beneficial?
And please be honest, eh?
Unmute and tell us if you found that this was
I
beneficial.
think we should all give Nkateko a clap of hands, a show of thumbs or something. If you go to the reactions, you can see it there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Because, yeah, I mean, I know that this has been amazing. I have learned a lot. But Nkateko, thank you. You know, I know we've had at one stage we had 45 people on board. They've learned a lot. What we will do is we're going to have a chat in the next couple of days with our team to start structuring the the activation plan that we want, but we are going to be structured. We are going to sit with Andre. We know which areas we want, and we'll say to you, okay, this week, this is the area we want. This is the amount of techies. We are going to be sending out a Google form that I'm going to ask the techies to fill out to say which area, how many of you, etc. So literally, we would have collated a lot of information and data for you by the time we present to you.
No, great. Thank you so much. I will really appreciate that. I see Sandile's hand up.
Oh yes, sir.
Clapping.
Yeah, I got a question here. Here it's OpenServe. They do have a project that they're doing now. They call it try me 30 days before you buy. So actually they just install the fiber for the client for 30 days just for free. The client can use for 30 days. Then after that, the client can choose the ISP.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I think, is it possible for us to refer to Supersonic? And that question goes to, I think, Sharon and Janine and Andre. How the commission is going to work? Because some clients, they just call and say, no, my 30 days it's finished, so I need the ISP. So I can just say, no, you can just go to Supersonic. So I need to understand how is this thing of a commission will work. You see, I don't know.
Sandile, as long as we have it logged on the portal that it's come through us, that is when we'll be able to get the commission on it. If the client goes directly, then there is no commission on it. So Des will have to guide us on how this will work, because obviously after 30 days, and there must be some format that they have to follow in terms of selecting who they want to go with. And I'm not too sure how that impacts on us as a dealer.
Yeah, so I can just answer to that as well, just to add in what you're saying, Janine. So yes, we had chats with OpenServe around that, and they are having that promo 30 days try me. So like you said, customers after 30 days have got a luxury of choosing their own preferred ISP, and that's where you then as a dealer comes in. in actual fact, you can start talking to your customer now as he's being installed and working under OpenSelf internet. You can start saying to him, look, the reason why you'll be happy with Supersonic is because of these types of reasons. So you do have an opportunity to obviously to start engaging with those customers, and we are like for now we are gonna obviously do the activation planner. You can start going to those areas, and we'll make sure that from our side we support you, Supersonic, and we're gonna tell those customers from like maybe on their social media platforms that you'll be on site on this particular days, so that it can also give you momentum when you go there. So what you're trying to say is that you will be able to sell in such areas because customers did have an experience of what the internet is within 30 days. And what you can do, you need to have your own sales pitch to say, how did you find the internet to be? What were the downfalls? Did you encounter any challenges within the 30 days? Just to try to resolve those issues with him and say, you know what, if you sign up with me, I promise you that we as Supersonic will make sure that you don't encounter such problems moving forward. So I think you need to have a very strong sales pitch, because remember, OpenSelf is acquainted with Telkom. So it's a given that on that 30 days for free, the customers might be using Telkom's internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I get you. I get you.
I wonder which router they're using for the 30 days for free.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Which router are they using for the 30 days?
I think they're just gonna use the standard Telkom router, because look, Telkom is obviously their ISP. So and it's very difficult for you to then after 30 days to want to cancel, right? And because the pricing also plays a very important part there, because if you can look at the 25 meg of Telkom, it's on about 425 megs.
But that would seem to be a very uncompetitive tactic for them to put a Telkom router down and say, okay, well, 30 days. Would you like to take that out and put a Supersonic router in? They're not going to do that.
Okay, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. You know what they do? They don't use what Telkom router. They just the technician. They just dispatch the technician and then do the installation with a ONT with the 2 antennas. So they just activate that ONT. You see?
Yeah, but that ONT must have Wi-Fi on it.
Yes, that ONT.
But whose Wi-Fi is it?
Yeah, got 2 antennas on that ONT.
It can only be Telkom Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Anti-competitive.
But the thing is, they won't really tell you that you're using, because OpenSelf doesn't have capabilities of providing internet. But they're only an FNO, so it means that they're obviously using their child Telkom to provide the customer the internet. But as you are saying, later on, they will then disconnect that ONT and use it as a bridge ONT, so that a customer can be able to have a router through his own preferred ISP.
Yeah, no, that's how it's done. Yeah.
Cool.
This has been one of our most interactive, exciting presentations. So Nkateko, thank you so much. I have no doubt that in the next week or 2 or 3 weeks, we wouldn't mind asking you to come back, because then we would have, before we present to you formally, to bounce off our suggested activation plan for your input to say it's good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's great, it's phenomenal. We would like to maybe say this is what we're thinking. Are we thinking in the right direction? Because obviously with your knowledge, we don't want to be going left and you as a company are going right. We really must be all going right together or all going left together. Let's work in synergy as much as possible for maximum impact and brand awareness. So I will definitely ask if we could reconvene a part 2 of this in the next week or so. But thank you so much. Techies, I'm sure you have felt that this has been beneficial, because I know you've stayed on to the end. To Andre, thank you so much for showing us on the map how it is clustered, and it is really good because you can see the red and the green. Like, this is an area that's lit, this is an area that's about to come online. And Janine, just for being our conduit between the techies and Supersonic. Without you, we would be a hell of a loss. So thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. And you know, Nkateko, we're incredibly proud of MyTechie team. We really, really have a good, strong, solid bond with our team members. We enjoy these techie team talks, and you're more than welcome to join whenever you wish, if not just to shoot the breeze. But guys, this has shown you a very strong opportunity of how we can maximize our income, how we can drive commissions, how we can bring in friends and family. Janine and I will be starting a dedicated sales WhatsApp group. So techies who want to also do sales will be on, people who we've identified in communities that are strong on sales and have been referred by techies. So even if you want to form your own teams and say, we've got one person who's brilliant at sales, but I'm still comfortable with air fiber and I'll do the installation. There's so many different ways we can really tailor make this for you. So before I hand over to Andre to give, Nkateko, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. What I wanted to say is, look, I understand that a child starts by crawling, then walking, then running. So this is how I see it. So I'm willing to offer my time for, if you are meeting every Thursday or whenever you're meeting, I will avail myself, more especially if it's during the evenings. I'll always be there up until you come to a stage where you feel confident. And the thing is, I love talking to IT-oriented people because the questions that they ask are kind of like provoking, and they help me and shape me as well. So I will always avail myself whenever I'm needed in this meeting. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you so much for the time and the privilege that I had with you guys. It has been fun. Like I said, I talk a lot. I wouldn't mind talking to you until tomorrow. But thank you so much for everyone.
Oh, thank you. Andre, I know we've gone over time a little bit, but would you just like to conclude and say good night?
Yeah, thanks. Can you all hear me? Thanks very much. And the nice thing about Nkateko, I've shown you a few pictures of Nkateko, but this is a picture of him on the weekends. Okay, he's quite chilled on the weekends. His pipeline is a big deal. But then come Monday, he's out on, he's going to get them, and he's going to get those.
So Nkateko, you be prepared next time for Andre, hey? We've got
Nah, I'll come
pictures.
Prepared.
Yeah, we want Andre pictures.
But thank you very much. We up for it. We up for the challenge. We've got a lot of work to do to get our motley crew into shape. But the guys are very excited. I think we want to go and sell fiber, air fiber, LTE, everything. We're interested to know about this MyFiber because it lines up with the MyTechie, and we can see what we can do to paint these towns and townships and villages yellow. Thank you very much, everybody.
Have an awesome evening, and a big round of applause to Nkateko. You were awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Des.
Andre,
Thank you.
Janine, and Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I truly appreciate you all.
Night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Cheers.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone.